Oh, this ain't spiritual.
Well, under leader.
I'm gonna tell you how it's not spiritual. Because every animal can be this.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Animals love, they are responsible. Well, you can't be honest, they're nurturing, they're providers. You see a lioness with a cub, she's stern, she's fast, she letting everybody suck on her. Somebody get to, trying to ask, she'll push them off. So animals can be all that.
Okay, well, it's spiritual then. Let's put spiritual.
Lisa just put it in there. What you think? What you think? What you look like this?
Sometimes parents are not spiritual.
Oh, come on. Thank you. And see, that's why she said, hold on. She said sometimes parents are not spiritual. All right? And we know that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What about if you grew up in a house where there was no mention of God? You're atheist. How does that look? I mean, is that still being a parent?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so y'all just answered y'all own question. All this stuff y'all just put up here comes from your own family of origin. All this stuff that y'all said existed sometime or another in your own house or growing up, you got some of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You got some love, you got some honesty, you got some nurturing, you got somebody being provided, you got somebody being stern, you got somebody being fair, you got somebody being a role model. So basically, what you think a parent is, or what you think parenting is, stems from your upbringing, right?
Right.
Now, all right, is that right or wrong?
It depends. I think, no. I don't think it depends. I think that that's right because your upbringing, you may be brought up one way and you didn't agree with it, so you changed it, but you still changed it based on how you were brought up.
Right.
All right. Y'all agree?
Yep.
You agree, Nick?
Your upbringing has to, you know what I'm saying? Your upbringing has to deal with, it has to come into play with how you how you parent. In some kind of way, you may be an atheist or something, but in some kind of way, not another, your upbringing is going to come into play with your parents. In some kind of way.
How you were brought up gonna play a part.
Yeah, I'm going to play a part.
Okay. So I'm glad y'all saying all that, and I'm glad y'all being truthful, because whether you want to admit it or not, we all still walk around with our family myths.
In so many instances, in situations like that, that's the norm for how you were brought up.
That's the norm to you.
To you.
May not be norm to somebody else.
Exactly, and that, and we can use a topic, let's say racism. We know it exists.
Yeah.
If a child has been brought up in a home to express hate,
Yeah.
that's normal for that child.
Yeah, that's norm.
The
Yeah.
other child may be in a home that expresses love for everybody,
Yeah.
that's normal for that child.
Right.
But when they get to this neutral arena,
Uh-huh.
one of those beliefs or upbringing may not be accepted.
Right.
However, in that child's mind, this is normal. This is where it's supposed to be.
That's the norm. Why are we talking about this tonight? Because whether you want to admit it or not, consciously or unconsciously, you keep doing this over and over again.
Yes.
However you brought up. Case in point, just simplicity. I told y'all this before. Me and Carol got married. I was taught in my house, first thing you do is make up the bed. Before you do anything. You get out the bed, turn around, and make up the bed. That's what I was taught. Now, was that right or was that wrong?
That's right.
Ah! In my world,
Yeah, that was right. It's right.
that is no.
In your
In my world, In your world,
Universal in my house.
no, it wasn't. Exactly. It's not universal. It's not universal in all.
Does that mean that my parents were bad parents? No.
Yeah, no, it does not. And I'm getting to that. Here's the thing. Okay, how many of you right now, as adults, when you get up out of bed, before you leave home, you make up your bed? How many of y'all? Now, okay, hold on.
I was taught this.
The reason that we do it,
Sleep.
the reason that we do it is because of our family myths.
Now,
Somebody told us in the house that this is what you do.
right?
And this is how you do it. And you do this every time. And so in our mind, that is the truth. And so the reason that we're talking about family myths is simply because your truth may not be my truth. But that does not, Shirley said that was not universal in her house. That does not make her parents bad parents. But what it does, her spouse and her have to come to some type of agreement.
No. That ain't made up now. We just gonna leave that one alone.
Say what?
Yeah.
No, that Nick want the bed made up, make it up.
Because there's some things that I want that he doesn't do.
I
So
agree.
we just gonna say, you
I
know
agree.
what? You don't make the bed up. You don't take your glass up when you're done.
Oh, she being mad. She being nice now. Okay, so what I'm saying, and we're talking about this, and I want you to understand that even your earliest of memories of whatever in your house, how you grew up, it still shapes you, and it still sometimes attaches itself to you unknowingly. And what we do is we try to impose our truth on other folks.
Yeah.
Because we are from a family and we try to make other people our family. And so that's why they're family myth. And so there's a myth that I want to show you, that I want to talk about tonight, simply because I'm trying to help people see the reason that you have trouble in relationship. Whether it be romantic, whether it be friendship, whether it be ministry-wise. I'm trying to point you in the direction to get back to the root of your problem. The root of your problem is the start. Your family. Alright? If all I seen all my life is mama and them get stamps and beat the system, then 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna reciprocate what the environment that I grew up in. Because I think that's the norm. For them, it is the norm. For some of us, and notice I did say us, I didn't say some of you. We do not, when we get our income tax, we do nothing constructive with it, but act like we rich. Y'all laughing. But that comes from the family. You got $4,000-$5,000 in your hand that you just been waiting. You've been planning since December what you gonna do. I'm serious. You've been planning what you gonna do with it. You didn't pay some bills because you knew January was coming up. You like, I can't tell you. I get my income tax. Just look straight ahead when nobody knows what I'm talking about. So, family of myths. So let's deal with this. What myths are? Idea. A myth is an idea. So my idea and your idea may not be the same. And that's all right. That's what makes us different. We don't have to see everything eye to eye because we are in relationship or even in a family. All right. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, I think. Back to Ms. Thomas' family of origin, there are some strong women in their family. And that has nothing to do with her. It has something to do with Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, and then it has something to do with Granddaddy Wilson and great-granddaddy Wilson, and that just kind of came down. And so the family myths have been carried on time after time, and we unconsciously do things, or we are certain ways, and we don't even realize that we are reenacting the family. All right? So a myth is an idea. Now, I want to say this. If you're married, if you're in a relationship with somebody, each individual brings their own idea to the table. All right? See, I tell people all the time when I counsel couples, number one is, first of all, African Americans don't get premarital counseling, which you should. Matter of fact, I'm moving to the point where I really don't want to do wedding ceremonies with people that have not had premarital counseling. Because a whole lot of stuff you'll find out. I mean, you know, if your mama gave you everything you wanted, then you get a husband and he be like, nah, we don't need to do that, and you gonna be acting a fool. I'm serious.
Yes,
I mean, you gonna be cutting up. You know, you gotta understand. That's true. I mean, you gonna cut up.
That's right.
Oh, you gonna call your mom? This nigga here, he trying to tell me what to do with my money. I don't work for my.
That's right.
You don't know why. You don't tell me what to do with my money. You act like you're a rank stranger. Yeah, I'm my own boss.
I make my own.
You don't tell me what to do. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because you have your own idea. Here's the thing. You have your own idea, not only how the family should go, but you even have your own idea of what kind of children you want. Oh yeah. Yeah, I want my baby, she need to be married by the time she's 25, and then she gonna go to Spelman, and she gonna be a doctor, and she, that's how I hope. But all that's just an idea. That don't mean it's real. All right, so understand, everybody in this room brings an idea of what they think a relationship, or even, and when I say relationship, don't think of it as husband and wife. I'm talking about us. We are in relationship with one another. Even though we here on Wednesday and Sunday only, we are still in relationship with one another. And so what happens is the idea or the kind of person that you think I ought to be, when I'm not the person that you think I ought to be, then you get upset. Instead of recognizing that there is blessing in difference. Yeah.
Ideas are wrong.
Huh? Some ideas are what?
Wrong.
I don't think ideas are wrong. I just think your truth and somebody else's truth may not necessarily. It's just like this. To us, watch this. I'm just going to use this as an example. We didn't grow up Seventh-day Adventist. All right? Seventh-day Adventists go to church on Saturday. We go to church on Sunday. Who wrong and who right?
Needs Seventh-day Adventist.
If you ask the Seventh-day Adventists, they will say yes. They right because they said God created the heaven and the earth, and He created the earth, and on the seventh day, He rested. And they said the only thing you're supposed to do on the seventh day is rest like Jesus, rest like God rest. All right, so that's their privilege. Now, does that mean that that's wrong? Or does that mean that's right? What difference does it make what day you worship, as long as you worship? That's an idea. All right? And so I think sometimes we want people to get to believe our idea, and we shut relationships out because people don't have the same idea that we have. And that's unfair, because what you will do, you may cut off some relationships that you need simply because you're trying to impose your family myth on the other person. Because everybody didn't grow up like, see, that's why I don't get, that's why these young men that say they didn't grow up with a father irks me. Because a lot of folks didn't grow up with fathers.
Right.
I'm talking about, and they had them in the house, they still didn't grow up.
Come on, come on.
All right.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. You can have somebody in the house, and let's just be honest. In African American homes, mamas run stuff. Let's get over that. I mean, they do. I mean, they take care of a whole lot of stuff. Now, I would dare say in the Caucasian community, the women they take care of the house. The husband work, but they kind of take care of the house. But African American culture is a little different. I mean, black women are a little mouthy. I'll tell you, one of my colleagues, he's been married about 5 years, and he's white, and he said he admires. He says he envies my directness with folks, and so he went home trying to be direct. I said, son, do you know I'm a Negro? He was like, man, my wife acting like a black lady. You know me too? I said, man, and that's what I told him. What work over at my house may not work at your house. But what you got to do is find out, and the way that you find out the idea and how they grew up and all this kind of stuff is that how do we communicate? You got to talk. You got to talk. And that's something that we don't do. We can be upset about something and we'll tell everybody else but the person that you need to tell. And a lot of times you will find out that most times it's a misunderstanding. It's how you took what they said or how you perceive them. You know, that's why it's always conscious, because what I do on a daily basis is stressful. And so I got to always be conscious, even if I'm having a bad day. Before I go in that patient's room, the patient can't pick up that I'm pissed off. I got to be, and that's hard sometimes. All right? So let's deal with these myths. So a myth is an idea. All right? Now, some people myth in a family is, and you don't have to raise your hand, and you don't have to comment on this, but some people, this hangs over their head. Fulfilling the family legacy. And that could mean a whole lot of stuff to a whole lot of people. To me, it got put on me, and I didn't ask for it. Because I was the middle child, my sister was very smart in school, but she dropped out of high school because she got pregnant with my nephew. Oh, my nephew is, I'm 37. I got a 31-year-old nephew. All right, so I had a nephew when I was 5. I think. Yeah, something like that. I thought it was fascinating at the time. I changed his life, but it really wasn't that cute. Hey, I'm 5, 6 years old, so you know they tell me I'm an uncle. That's my chest. Okay, so fulfilling this family legacy. How does that happen? I'm gonna tell you how it happened to me. I don't know your story. I only know mine. But my mama said, okay, you know, you gotta go to high school. And you gotta finish high school. I had no choice because this legacy was placed on me. Nobody even asked me, did I want to finish high school? I'm just saying. I'm talking about imposing a legacy that you didn't ask for. In my mom's eyes, finishing high school was the pinnacle
Yeah.
of what individuals can do. All right? My grandfather didn't finish high school. All right? My grandmother didn't finish high school. Some of my aunts and my uncle finished high school, and so that's a big thing. Get your education. All right, so that was put on me, and sometimes because I was not the brightest bulb in the bunch, and I had to learn that for myself. All right, because here's the thing: when your family of origin puts things on you, sometimes you can't handle what they put on you. I wasn't no AP student. Hell, I was getting beat. I'm like, listen, I'm doing the best I can. I'm a slow reader. I'm trying, Lord. And I actually had to sit down and tell my mama, listen. First of all, the first problem I had, I couldn't see. I didn't start wearing glasses till the 7th grade. So I'm like, oh, when I put my glasses on, I was like, oh, that's green. I couldn't see. I had a terrible, still do, have a terrible stigmatism. All right? And so here's my mama said, you know, you gotta finish high school and you gotta do well. And so I'm like, well, I'm doing the best I can, so I'm a C student. And she pissed off that I'm a C student. And I had to tell her, listen, lady, I'm doing the best I can. Okay, once I said I'm doing the best, then she said, okay, maybe you know, she backed off on me. She said, you doing the best you can? She said, and then she went to the school and the teachers told her, yeah, you're doing the best you can. And you know, he's fine, as long as he makes, well, okay. So she kind of backed off. But see how she puts that on me, unknowingly knowing the effect that it had on me. Some of you are just like me. You were the first person to go to college in your family. So you in college, you scared to mess up because all you hear at home is, folks, we depending on you. I'm just 16, I'm just 17, y'all depending on me. So you got all this pressure on you to fulfill the family legacy, and then in some instances, to start the family legacy. And even though my mom pushed me to that point, and I made it, now that I think back on it, I started the family legacy, and it continued with my brother, because all he wanted to do, number one, watch this, my brother, he finished school, he finished high school, he finished college, and the same place I was working, he worked. I got him a job at UPS, and he's still there. And now he's a supervisor. Over package cars, the brown cars, that's what he does. He supervises about 40-some drivers every day. All right? And so I started a legacy, and here's the thing. I never knew that even with me just finishing what I finished, put pressure on him. Because what he heard from mama, now he was smart. And mama said, now I know what Jeff can do. He'll see student, I know you can do it. Honestly, I just started making A's, B's till I got to college. Honestly, I did. I found my niche. I mean, I could just, high school was just dragging me. But she said, Jeff a C student. Now, he made it through high school. I know you ain't going to have a problem. So that was, and so my brother talked, he was like, yeah, that was pressure, because everything that I did was measured by what you did. Hello, y'all. Some of y'all think about your own family. You got some siblings that your mama and them measured everything that they did, but you had to be measured up to them. And that's fulfilling the family legacy, or even starting the family legacy. Oh, you the first one. You the first one to finish college. You the first one to do this. You the first one. You the first nurse. You the first this. You the first that. You the first. And so that legacy has been put on you, and in some ways it has driven you in relationships that you reciprocate the same thing that was put on you, you put it on other people. And you're saying subconsciously in your mind, oh man, they talking about that's hard. It ain't that hard. I did it. But you don't know about them. You don't know what kind of struggle they have. So don't ever put pressure. And why I'm talking about this is, and I say this all the time. My son told me the other day, and this messed me up. He told me this the other day. He said that the people at school, he said, you don't know what kind of pressure it is to be your son. I said, what? I said, you go to school with white folk. You ain't got. He said, no. They always call me rich, and because I wear polos and because I dress nice and I got these Ray-Ban frames, they call me rich, and I'm sick of it. I said, well, let me tell you what they call me in school, Pope. But you see how unknowingly he has taken the family legacy upon him. I ain't put it on him. He took it himself. And so sometimes what we have to do in our families, especially with our children, we have to constantly remind them that you don't have to do what I did. I tell y'all all the time. Look, oh, Lord, I'm on here. See, about 5 cents every morning. Oh, baby, I'm calling child people. And so what we do, we need to constantly redirect our children. And I say this all the time. I tell my children, I don't want you to be you don't have to be no preacher. You ain't got to do that. Whatever you do, just do the best you can. I always reiterate that because I understand that there is pressure. Now to hear that from JR at 13 years old and he's saying, when the folk picking on me, they say we rich. I said, well, tell them we ain't rich. Because half of the stuff you buy, half of the stuff you got is because you got a grandma.
That's crazy.
Y'all got that on film here because of his grandma. Yeah! He got a good grandma. Right? And so it's amazing that, he tells me this, and he tells me this out of frustration simply because he feels that the pressure is on him. And so when I sat him down and I said, hey, what you want to do? You're 13. You're going to the 9th grade next year. What's your plan? Because what you do from 9th to 12, tell me what you want to do. And he began to tell me what he want to do. I said, well, okay, you got a plan? Do that. Let's work toward this plan. He was like, well, you ain't going to worry about the church part? I said, work this plan that you got. I said, you keep God in your life, you're going to be fine. Now, I could see and I don't know, and here's the thing, I never talked to him about preaching. I never talked to him about stuff like that. So in my mind, I was saying, what have I done to impose the legacy of Jeff Thompson on him? And this is what he said. And this is why those of you that may be with a child or think about children in the future, and you young and y'all in love and y'all think about children, this is why I will admit and I will raise my hand that I made a great mistake when I named him after me.
A lot of pressure.
I made a mistake. Because every man, and here's the thing, I was selfish when I named him. Because let me just let you in on a myth that I have secretly. The myth that I have secretly for me is the reason that I am an overachiever is because I'm afraid when I die, folk will forget I live. And so I made up my mind a long time ago that I'm going to do things in such a way that when Jeff Thompson gone, folk ain't just going to say, oh, when he died. Lord Jesus, ain't that the same? I have been an overachiever, and that has driven me. All right? And so my son says, everybody know I'm your son. I don't, what you want them to call you? He said, well, I may start telling folk to call me by my middle name. I said, why? He said, because when I say my name is Jeffrey Thompson, they say, oh, is Jeffrey Thompson the preacher? See, sometimes because of our own legacy that we want to leave, we unknowingly put stuff on our children and we don't realize the effect that it has. And so what I'm teaching you tonight is simply what I'm going through. All right? And I want us to be conscious of if you got a milk or family legacy that you got to do this. Here's the thing. You got to be married by the time you get 25. You got to have your baby by the time you get 28. And then you got to have another baby by that. That's all a myth. It's a myth. Listen, back in the day, folk were having children when they were 13. My grandmama got married when she was 13. We don't do that now. We cut that family milk out. Oh my goodness. No, Lord, I need to live a little bit. And I see it in the healthcare facility. And I was telling some dudes today, I said, man, y'all look for some mates, y'all need to come to the hospital. I mean, them nurses, I'm talking about, they ain't got no hug.
Watch out now, Pastor. You know what's up with that.
They ain't got no hug. Because they got their schools out the way. Yeah, they work. All right, so sometimes say, all right, so we got the family legacy. Okay, so am I helping somebody? Am I by myself? Some of y'all got a family legacy that have been supposed upon you and you didn't even ask for it. And so you need to be conscious and please reiterate to your children that they don't have to do what you did. That they can do something different. I tell my boys all the time, I don't want you to be a garbage man, but if you are, be the supervisor. So you won't have to be on the back of the truck smelling the phone. You can be in the office, all right? All right, any questions on that? Any questions on that? All right? What about this? So we got fulfilling the family legacy, then number 2, here's the thing. Watch this, and we got to watch this with our children. And some of us have lived through this. Premature adult responsibility.
Babysit. You have to do it.
Prematurely. Here you are, 13.
Telling your son he's a man of the house.
Oh, come on!
This is not a man.
Yeah, you know, your dad ain't here, you the man of the house. No, he ain't.
No.
No, he ain't. And so what we do, and that's why Shawna said, that's why we have a whole lot of problems with these young boys. Because somebody at the house done told them, you the man. Ain't nobody else here, so you got to watch out for me. And then some folk with these old wives tale them favors and all that kind of stuff, you done went to watch night service, New Year's Eve. And then you let your 12-year-old walk in the house first because a man. Because a man needs to walk in the door first. If a man needs to walk in the door first, let a man walk in there. Don't let no boy walk in there.
That's the difference.
And so what we do, we give. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, we have to let children be children.
Right.
As long. And some of them don't want to. See, they don't understand. They want to be grown. They want to. They want to be grown. They want, but they really don't know. They looking at, and here's the thing. Me and JR, we have a discussion, Holy Ghost moment. And, he was telling John Michael was getting on his nerve, and he said, get out of my room. He just kept on, John Michael, he hollering behind him. Get out of my room. And so they going back and forth. And so JR slammed the door in his face. He said, I told you to get out of my room. And I got up. I said, now let me explain something to you. Every room in here belongs. Every last one of them. I said, I'm just letting you sleep in that bed. I'm letting you occupy this space. But guess what? You ain't grown. You don't pay nothing here. None of this stuff belongs to you. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I've been seeing that you get a little tall and you get about 13. I said, you think you make it take me. You may bristle up. I said, but look at all this stuff in the room. I said, I'll tell all of them. Too big for me to whoop you, but I'll beat you. That's what I told him. My family of origin taught me that. we children. And I think sometimes we try to, ain't nothing wrong with letting children have responsibility. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They need, they need chores, they need stuff. But some of this stuff is just too,
It's your convenience.
too extreme. I mean, even I'll think about this. Even though I was 12 years old playing for a church, it was just a little bit extreme for me to have to pay the water bill. That was just. We out of time. God bless you, good night. But seriously, at 12 years old, even though I don't make but $35 a week, but at 12 years old, and I understand my mama's principle behind it, but at 12, I had to give the money over to pay for the water bill. But then, but on the flip side, it did teach me something. That stuff wasn't free.
That's right.
But it still did it prematurely. I wasn't ready for it. And so why I can just put my $35 in my pocket? Okay, all right. Y'all see what I'm saying? Okay, all right. Any question on that? Two more, then I'm gonna let you go. All right. So, the third myth, and this is gonna y'all gotta talk, because I'm doing all the talk. Y'all ain't gonna know all about me, and I ain't gonna know about little lot. I'm telling you stuff I need to tell about there. Let's talk about this myth. The myth of dire consequences. Dire consequences. Let's talk about that, because what is we saying? Like the family can't survive unless this selected person plays a specific part. Well, let's talk about that, because that happens in families too. In other words, nothing can be done without a particular person. Okay, let me break it down for you. This is what parents do. If you're the only sibling that got a degree, then they think you got all the siblings. I'm going somewhere. Y'all ain't ready. If you're the only one, if your siblings don't have no degree and you got a degree, 9 times out of 10, your mom and your daddy gonna place stuff in your hand because they feel like, hey, I done, you done been to school and you know a little something, you know how to organize, so we're gonna put it in your hand. That's placing a myth of responsibility on somebody, and it may not be that person. I keep on telling people, everybody that got a degree, that don't mean they know what they doing, they just know how to pass the test.
Right. That's right.
Y'all seen Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
That man was just brilliant. I mean, and he actually passed the bar. That is a true story. He actually did pass the bar. I mean, he did. All right? And so, people will put dire consequences on you, saying, well, you gotta do this, you gotta be there, mom ain't gonna listen unless you say it. That's unwanted pressure. And then some of you are the liaison in the family. It's mess on this side and then mess on that side, and you the one got to stand in the middle and do like this. That ain't right. That's unfair to you. All right? And so, how can you change that? I don't know. I don't know how you can change it. I'm open for suggestions. How y'all think y'all can change it if that's your situation? Stop what? Stop doing it. It's hard to stop doing something you've been doing. Stop making yourself available. Just stop doing it. It's hard to stop doing stuff. Because you love your folk.
Yeah, you love doing it.
That's true. You may like to be the person to do this. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Also so many people, like you said, they just love that attention of being the important person a lot of times. sometimes you are forced into it at times. But, I think some parents do it because maybe that's the person and maybe that's the sibling that they trust. Or, especially when it comes to handling family business. That may be the one sibling that they already say, okay, you may have this and you have that, but I know you won't take that from me. So I'm gonna let you handle this for me, because if I give it to your brother or your sister, they gonna steal it. They might not say it to them, but they gonna say it to you because they trust you.
I agree, but here's the thing. You have to be careful when your parents trust you like that. Come on, mama trust me like that. All right? And I want to say, if some of you are in the same situation that I already know, and my siblings already know, when something happens to my mom, like she was sick and, I was handling stuff. All right? But here's the thing. What we all got to understand, that when that is placed in your hand, that don't mean you head boss. Because here's the thing. My mama is no more my mama than she is to my other two siblings. And so if you the child, even though she may trust you, what she's doing, she's trusting you to do the right thing. And we got some folk in our family.
Yes, God.
Because here's the thing, and I want to say this. I'm serious about this. I'm serious when I say this. Because we got the same mom, we got the same dad as my sibling. Even if my brother was a crackhead, he still deserves equal share. Right. Now, what he do with it, that's his business. But as the person that your parent leave in charge, it's your job to do right. All right? I'm done. How I know that? I'm through. You turn that off. How I know that is because right now, in Florida, Carol's hometown, Jacksonville, Florida, Pastor Diamond, who went